Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radhe, Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let's chant the next mantra together. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hey Krishna. So today we continue from Canto 7, Chapter 3, text 17 through 24.
Lord Brahma said, O son of Kashyapa Muni, please get up. Please get up. All good fortune unto you. You are now perfect in the performance of your austerities, and therefore I may give you a benediction. You may now ask for me whatever you desire, and I shall try to fulfill your wish.
I have been very much astonished to see your endurance. In spite of being eaten and bitten by all kinds of worms and ants, you are keeping your life air, circulating within your bones. Certainly this is wonderful.
Even saintly persons like Bhrigu, born previously, could not perform such severe austerities, nor will anyone in the future be able to do so. Who within these three worlds can sustain his life without even drinking water for 100 celestial years?
Text 20. My dear son of Diti, with your great determination and austerity, you have done what was impossible even for great saintly persons. And thus I have certainly been conquered by you.
O best of the Asuras, for this reason I am now prepared to give you all benedictions according to your desire. I belong to the celestial world of demigods who do not die like human beings. Therefore, although you are subject to death, your audience with me will not go in vain.
Sri Narada Muni continued, after speaking these words to Hiranyakashipu, Lord Brahma, the original being of this universe, who is extremely powerful, sprinkled transcendental, infallible, spiritual water from his Kamandalu upon Hiranyakashipu's body, which had been eaten away by ants and moths. Thus he enlivened Hiranyakashipu.
As soon as he was sprinkled with the water from Lord Brahma's water pot, Hiranyakashipu arose, endowed with a full body with limbs so strong that he could bear the striking of a thunderbolt. With physical strength and a bodily luster resembling molten gold, he emerged from the anthill, a completely young man, just as fire springs from fuel wood.
Text 24. Seeing Lord Brahma present before him in the sky, carried by a swan airplane, Hiranyakashipu was extremely pleased. He immediately fell flat with his head on the ground and began to express his obligation to the Lord.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we continue getting deep dive into this verse, text 24. Please repeat after me. Sanirikshambare devam hamsavaham upasthitam Nanama Shirasa Bhumo Taddarshana Mahotsavaha Tanirikshambare Devam Hamsavaham Upasthitam Nanama Shirasa Bhumo Taddarshana Mahotsavaha Tanirikshambare Devam Hamsavaham Upasthitam Nanama Shirasa Bhumo Taddarshana Mahotsavaha. Please recite. Tanirikshambare Devam Hamsavaham Upasthitam Nanama Shirasa Bhumo Taddarshana Mahotsavaha Tanirikshambare Devam Hamsavaham Upasthitam Nanama Shirasa Bhumo Taddarshana Mahotsavaha Tanirikshambare Devam Hamsavaham Upasthitam Nanama Shirasa Bhumo Taddarshana Mahotsavaha. Thank you so much. Such a beautiful way to recite this. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Seeing Lord Brahma present before him in the sky, carried by his swan airplane, Hiranyakashipu was extremely pleased. He immediately fell flat with his head on the ground and began to express his obligation to the Lord. Purport. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.23-24, whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. I am the only enjoyer and the only object of sacrifice. Those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. In effect, Krishna says, persons engaged in the worship of demigods are not very intelligent, although such worship is indirectly offered to me. For example, when a man pours water on the leaves and branches of a tree without pouring water on the root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulative principles. The process of watering a tree is to pour water on the root. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita as avidhi purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performances recommended in the Vedic literatures, but actually all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yajna means Vishnu. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should work only for satisfying Yajna or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization known as Varnashram Dharma is specifically meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the Supreme Master. However, less intelligent persons, without knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. Although Hiranyakashipu offered his obeisances unto Lord Brahma, he was strongly inimical toward Lord Vishnu. This is the symptom of an asura. Asuras worship the demigods as being separate from the Lord, not knowing that all the demigods are powerful because of being servants of the Lord. If the Supreme Lord were to withdraw the powers of the demigods would no longer be able to offer benedictions to their worshippers. The difference between a devotee and a non-devotee, or asura, is that a devotee knows that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that everyone derives power from him. Without worshipping the demigods for particular powers, a devotee worships Lord Vishnu, knowing if he desires a particular power, he can get that power without acting as Lord Vishnu's devotee. Therefore, in the Shastra, Bhagavatam 2.3.10, it is recommended a person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of material desires, free from material desires, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the Personality of Godhead. Even if a person has material desires, instead of worshipping the demigod, he should pray to the Supreme Lord so that his connection with the Supreme Lord will be established and he will be saved from becoming a demon or a non-devotee. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya gives the following quotation from the Brahma Tarka. Eka sthane eka karyatvad Vishno pradhanyatas jivasya tad adhinatvan nabhinadhikritam vachaha. Since Vishnu is the Supreme, by worshipping Vishnu one can fulfill all one's desires. There is no need to divert one's attention to any demigod. Hare Krishna. Let's recite Mangalacharan. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, where are we right now in Srimad Bhagavatam? What's happening? Hiranyakashipu is happening. What's he doing? He did a lot of austerity. He was standing on his toes and his hands were raised up. For how many years? Yeah, and according to us, it's probably 36 lakh or I don't know how many years. Can we stand even for 36 seconds on our toes? It's probably some people can do that. But for so many years, that intense burning desire. And who was he doing this austerity for? Towards whom was he performing this austerity? Because he loves him? Hiranyakashipu doesn't have any kind of devotion towards Lord Brahma. But he's only doing this extreme intense austerity because he wants to get the post of Brahma. Now just imagine how asuric, how demoniac that kind of mentality is, that he's doing so much austerity just so that to the person he's performing that austerity. Usually we perform any kind of devotion towards somebody we respect, we love. But he's doing that so that, that person can go away one day and I want to get that post. That's his mentality. And you remember a few days ago when he was preaching philosophy, heavy philosophy about the soul, probably previous chapter. He was preaching heavy philosophy and giving examples from ancient history that like Kingdom Ushinara, the king had died, and he was preaching to the wives that, why are you lamenting for the soul? And he was sounding so intelligent, and the question might pop up, right? Like, how this is duality. He's such a demoniac person, and he was preaching philosophy. He understands soul, body, and still he's doing that. Because sometimes we might know the information, but that's not our realized knowledge. We can sometimes speak high, great philosophy, sitting on Vyasasana or talking to people and preaching really high. But it's not really necessary that sitting here, I am following that. But we can see that that cannot be fake. That cannot, the person cannot pretend for so long. But that usually comes out. And here we see what his real desire was, to become immortal. And he had so much hatred towards Vishnu, but he was worshipping the demigod. So another contradiction, because demigods get their power from the Supreme Lord. And he wants to kill the Supreme Lord. He wants to kill Vishnu. He's inimical towards him. But he's worshipping Brahma so that he can take away all the good things that are happening around. So Brahma gives protection to Brahmanas, to cows. It comes in the purport. As a devotee, because he's a devotee of Lord Vishnu, so he protects Brahmanical culture, he protects cows. But as soon as Hiranyakashipu would come in power, all of this will go away. Because he's an asura, he doesn't protect cows, he doesn't take care of Brahmanas. And this is what we are seeing also happening in the current, in Kali Yuga, that we are seeing that cows are being killed. Jai Shri Shri Radha Kalachandji ki jai. Cows are being killed and Brahmanas are not being protected. And as a result, the whole, the piety, you can say, or the spiritual intelligence, spiritual knowledge is all getting diminished. So that's what happens when people like Hiranyakashipu come in power. So when Brahma comes, he appears, he sees with Prajapati Daksha and Bhrigu Muni. He doesn't come alone. So Brahma comes with them and he sees that, wow, Hiranyakashipu is doing such a wonderful austerity. And he's so pleased. He's so pleased by it. But he's also amazed because we all know that his whole body is covered with anthill, branches. Because for so many years he's just standing at one spot. His entire body, his flesh is being eaten away. It's just his bones that's left on him. And still, the soul is surviving because somehow he's got this mystic power that even without drinking water for so many years, not eating anything, he's still surviving. The soul is surviving there. And as soon as Brahmaji comes and Brahma puts some holy water from his kamandalu on Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu regains his body. He manifests again, as we say. And it's mentioned that he has a beautiful, strong-built body, golden, lustrous, and he becomes a young man again. And for going ahead from tomorrow, I think we'll get this description how. So he pays obeisances to Brahma. He's so pleased. He's like, okay, Brahma is finally here, and he bows down flat, Dandvat Pranam to Brahmaji, and eventually he will glorify Brahma, saying you are the supreme master of this universe, and then he will ask for boons. Now this is the big difference between so two things will come here. One, why we worship. Are we worshipping to ask things, to ask for benedictions, to ask something from somebody who is in power? Or we are worshipping someone because we love that personality? That's one thing we will talk about. The other is worshipping demigods versus worshipping the Supreme Lord. Shri Radha Kalachan ji ki jai. What timing? Yeah. Kalachan ji is like, hey, I'm standing right here. Why go to Brahma? So, we call in Bhagavad Gita, this verse comes where vyavasatmika buddhir. This is Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Vyavasayatmika buddhir eke he kuru nandana bahushaka he anantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So when we don't have great intelligence or poor fund of knowledge, or we don't have sufficient faith in the Supreme Lord, our faith or our shelter can be many-branched. It can be towards demigods. We will go to demigods. Okay, I want this because Vishnu/Krishna is not giving me this. Let me ask from you. Because in India, we are used to, many yagyas happening, and all the pandits will be very well aware. Okay, you want this, you want a child, worship this, do this yagya. Do this, you will get this benefit. That the whole list goes on, right? Karam Kand and everywhere it's mentioned. So all the vidhis are there, but at the end of the day, we need to really understand that what we need to ask from Krishna and what we don't want to ask from Krishna. Most people will approach the Lord asking for beauty, power, what else? Knowledge, strength, good relationship, partner. What will you say? Health, yes, good health, good job, all these things. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says we don't have to ask for all these things. We don't have to. First thing, clear. We don't have to approach Krishna and ask for these things. What is it that devotees need to pray to Krishna for? Mercy. Prema Bhakti, Krishna Prem, pure devotional service. That's what we have to beg Krishna for. When we approach demigods, they cannot give us Prema Bhakti, but if we really, so this is one important thing we need to understand. Our Vedas are not condemning the position of demigods. They're very respectful. They're just saying, if you are worshipping demigods, or you come across a temple, you're worshipping demigods, you don't have to ignore them. You have to pray to them probably that please engage me nicely in the service of Krishna. That's what our prayers have to be. And you will see this probably from your personal life or from others. We probably started worshipping Lord Shiva, or we started worshipping Ganesh ji or any other demigod. And if you really did that, honestly, the gift that they will themselves give you is they will introduce you to Krishna. They will take you on the path of Krishna consciousness. If you're doing it without any personal material desire, which is only for temporary time. So, when we worship Krishna, our faith, of course, it becomes strong eventually. But yes, we may still have other desires from pure devotional service. We might not be there. But still Krishna says, even if you have those material desires, still why go to demigods? Come to me. Come to Krishna. Because what's happening, even if your intention is not pure at this moment, or you don't have pure desire, you are still reconnecting with the Lord. Your connection with the Lord is re-established. The very simple example of understanding the role of demigods and the role of the Supreme Lord in our lives is, just imagine an ice cream man comes to, in front of your door. And the child has been advised by the parents, the child is sick and his throat is completely blocked and he's been asked not to eat ice cream. But he has some money, he gets some money from somewhere and he goes to the ice cream guy, to the vendor, and he says, I want this ice cream. Do you think the ice cream guy is going to ask him, okay, show me your throat first. Is it okay? Only then I will give you ice cream. Is he going to ask the child? He doesn't care. He gets the money. It's his job, right? He will get the money and he will give you what you want. But if the child goes to his parents and requests, cries, begs, I'm sure parents are used to this, I want ice cream. The parent's heart is not going to melt. It's not, because they know it's not good for their child. Let him cry for 1 hour, give him something else, but no, this is not good for you. And that's how our Supreme Father, Krishna, thinks like that. He gives us what is good for us when we are ready for it. That's really important. Sometimes we pray intensely for so many things, especially let's say, okay, we are trying to become better sadhakas. We try every day. But of course, there are things that Krishna gives to us when he knows we are ready. He knows, he's so intelligent, he knows if I give this bhakt this thing at this moment, he'll probably get puffed up, it's not good for him. And he will not give you, no matter how much you beg, just like that child. Because Krishna wants to really, he's your Surid, he's your best well-wisher. He will do the best thing at the best time, whatever is best for you. That's who Krishna is. But demigods, they are performing duties, like they are playing certain roles, like ministers in a government. And if you go and bribe them, they'll probably get your job done, but it's not the right thing. Avidhi purvakam, right? That's what the word came. That if we worship demigods and we pray for certain things, we are bribing them. We're trying to mess with the system. But that will mess us even more. We cannot fool the whole system or the whole planning of Krishna. So, also when we worship demigods, the biggest difference is, when we are having those desires in our mind is totally absorbed, like I want this, my heart wants this. You're not really satisfied. You will see this difference when you're performing devotional service for the Lord. That one thing that Krishna can give you, which nobody else can, is the satisfaction of the mind, satisfaction of the heart, and transformation of your heart. Nobody can transform your heart except Krishna. This is something that we all are after. So many mental health problems we see around us. We see so many suicides happening because people were not able to bear the pain that they were going through mentally and emotionally. And yeah, so we see a lot of those things happening. But Krishna, when we completely surrender to the Lord, He gives us that satisfaction. He gives what we are really hankering for. And also we see that when Hiranyakashipu performed so much austerity, and that's why, we see Lord Brahma came. But what did Prahlad do that Nrsimhadev appeared? Did he go through any of these 100 lakh, 1,000 years of penances, austerity, or did he go through, standing on one leg on the tip of his toes? Did he do any of that, Prahlad Maharaj? What did Bhakt Prahlad do that Nrsimhadev just had to appear for him? He had faith. Yes. Prahlad Maharaj had this faith that Krishna is everywhere. You were saying something? He prayed. Yeah. He was praying and he was preaching to his little friends. And he was not desiring anything. When Nrsimhadev appeared and after he killed Hiranyakashipu, you know, right, how Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu, how ferocious Nrsimhadev was, because he was so angry. How can somebody offend my devotee? So many times. He was really angry. And just like, you know, you would kill a fly, that's how he killed Hiranyakashipu, with the tip of his nails. He just ripped his body apart. This is one ferocious, action that we all love. Just hearing about this pastime again and again. But when he did that, and when Prahlad came to calm Sri Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev was blessing with his soft hands, like, even though with the same hands, he had killed Hiranyakashipu apart, but the same hands were there to love his devotee, to caress him. And then he asked him, Prahlad, what do you want? Imagine, did Prahlad have faith in Lord Nrsimhadev or Krishna so that one day he will come and he will present his list of desires that Krishna give me this, Nrsimhadev, now finally you're here. I wanted this PSP for so long. I wanted this benedictions for so long. You know, Prahlad, he would have been thinking, am I a businessman? Nrsimhadev, why you're asking me that? What do I want? He had no desire. One thing he said was that, my dad, like my father, he prayed for them also. That's the karuna bhav he had, the compassionate heart that he was saying, may all these people be delivered. May they come at your shelter. But already Krishna is so merciful that even if he kills somebody, that person gets delivered. But Prahlad did not ask for anything. And here, what is Hiranyakashipu doing? Worshipping so that the person he is worshipping, he can take away his post one day and rule over the world. That's his desire. So you see, with the difference between asura and a devotee. And a lot of times we also come in this asuric mentality, demoniac mentality, that we might not be actually being devoted to the Lord without any desire. This is one thing we really need to practice, because Brahma got really pleased by the austerities of Hiranyakashipu. But what really pleases Krishna? All the Bhagavatam stories we've heard, all from Purans, what is that one thing that pleases Krishna? Is it your stunts that you pull? Is it the power that you show or the intelligence that you show? Is that what really pleases or melts Krishna's heart? No. Sadama got just what chipped rice, which was covered in his wrist, in his hand. And just by that, Krishna got so pleased. Krishna doesn't want anything. He just wants your heart. He just wants your pure love. And that's all we can actually give him. We cannot give him anything else. One day I was, I think in Srimad Bhagavatam only, I read how gopis, when they sing for Krishna in the spiritual world, how perfect it is. We might have not heard anything like that. Here, when we do kirtan, this might sound like, how dogs will sing to our ears. That's how it might sound to the demigods or to Krishna. But Krishna doesn't care if you're singing in the perfect rag or perfect sur, or you're dancing or doing the perfect steps. That's not what Krishna is noting. Oh, he's out of rhythm now, or this mridang is not being played well. No, he doesn't see all of that. Otherwise, none of us would be really standing here doing kirtan for the Lord. But what really pleases him is your love, is your heart. And right now, of course, our heart is also not pure. But the fact that we are just coming and trying to take shelter of Krishna, Krishna is really happy with that. This one pastime where when Lord Ram is, during his exile, is roaming in the forests, the thorns get stuck under his feet, right? Of course, he's walking bare feet. And at night, usually Lakshman would press his feet, would take care of Mother Sita and Lord Ram. That was his service. And he wanted to take out the thorns from Lord Ram's feet. But Lord Ram said, no, don't do that. And he said, but, this is painful. If you're walking, your feet is bleeding. I need to take this off for you. Please let me do that. Please allow me to do that for you. And Lord Ram said, no, because whoever takes shelter of me, I never leave that devotee. So even if thorns were there at the feet of Lord Ram, he didn't want to let it go. He didn't want somebody to take it away. Imagine that's the heart of our dear Lord, that even if we are coming with imperfect, of course we are imperfect, not even if, like we are actually totally from head to toe, from inside, outside, everywhere, we are just imperfect. That's the reality. Because one moment we might be, oh wow, very nice, Krishna consciousness is beautiful, this is my life, I want to do this. We might go back and we might again be hit by Maya. It was interesting that I heard somewhere in a lecture that there are 3 places that we get temporarily detached. When we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is one. That when we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, sometimes our heart is so like, wow, bhakti is the best, which is true, bhakti is topmost, and I will just surrender entirely, Now I know, this pastime I heard or this philosophy I heard, I will never give up my faith, I'm drid nishchit now. But we might go back and something might happen, life happens, and then again that vairagya goes away. Second place is when somebody dies and you go to the, you go for their memorial or you go to bury them. That moment also, this thought comes that life is nothing, what am I doing? And I want to be just focused to Krishna consciousness, like completely give my 200%. That is one moment, but again you go home, take shower or whatever you do, and that, goes away. It kind of dwindles away. And there was one more thing, I forgot the third place. But these were the 2 out of them. So our faith needs to be really strong in Krishna to be able to not take shelter of anybody else, but come to Krishna. And we will learn that bhakti is actually about giving yourself to Krishna. It's not asking things from Krishna. It's not praying that I get this and that, but it is, Krishna, what can I give to you? And praying constantly, like Mother Prabhupada Priya said that Prahlad was constantly praying and preaching. This is a wonderful mood. When your prayers are strong, when your bhakti foundation is so strong, preaching is going to overflow from you. Like from your heart, it's just going to be a gift to people around you. So, yeah, if there's anything anybody would like to add or to ask or to share realizations, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna.
Very beautiful class. I was thinking that in terms of, we were talking about how many people will approach the Lord, with not because they love him, but they might make a show of devotion, but they actually want something from him. And I was thinking that we can also be like this in our relationships with each other. Like it's just very common amongst materialistic people that the only reason they'll be nice to someone or want to be their friend is because they think, this person can like help me in some way. So that's just kind of sad. And something maybe we need to be more conscious of in our relationships between devotees, to try to like be very pure in our dealings and always just thinking like, what can I give? How can I help? How can I serve this person? Rather than, what benefit can I get out of them? It's just such a deep-rooted mentality that we have of selfishness, being in this material world for so long and thinking that we're the center and everybody exists for our pleasure and, and they're only valuable to the extent that they can serve us. So, yeah, it's very deep.
It's very deep.
Very
it's very
problematic.
simple, but it's very simple if you see, because that's actually our real nature. The soul's nature is to serve, which means we serve people around us, we serve the Lord. But right now we are serving our senses. We're fulfilling our desires, just like Hiranyakashipu is trying to do here. And like Adi Prabhupada Priya said, that material relationships are all about that. My Guru Maharaj says, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. This is the mentality of the world right now. That if you want something, I want something from you, you want something from me. That's how relationships are really tied. And that's why one conflict comes and relationship breaks. But it's very important if we can understand this mood of, let's say, because we're talking about Prahlad Maharaj, how can we inculcate this mood and and this bhav that I just want to just always be Krishna conscious. I always want to pray to Krishna. I always want to serve devotees. That's just my mood. And serving devotees means being compassionate to them, not fighting with them, not judging them. You know, things that we can practically do. And when we do that, we can really experience Krishna's mercy. Because through devotees that will happen. So that's our gateway to Krishna consciousness, to Krishna, the ultimate goal, when we start serving devotees with honesty, even if not pretending, like Mataji said, we might make a show of it, right? We might just nice show bottle, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing dandava to everybody, I'm meeting everybody very nicely, hugging them. But inside, I'm probably judging each person I see in the temple. I'm just saying, oh, this person doesn't take a shower, this person doesn't know how to sing, this person doesn't eats a lot of prasadam, eats like 10 puris, or this person, has no job or what, he's always in the temple. I've heard so many things. I have heard so many judgments that people make about even devotees. As devotees, we make judgments of other people around us. But who has given us who gives us the right to judge anybody? We don't know their situation. We don't know how much that person could be really serious and close to Krishna, and how much Krishna might be, loving that person. And imagine if you do an offense towards that one person that Krishna really loves. You don't know. Outside externals don't show us who's dear to Krishna. But we all staying here near Kalachandji, we're all dear to Kalachandji. That's what we should think. Everybody over here is very, dear to Radha Kalachandji. And if we are not able to maintain nice relationships with devotees here, what makes us think we'll be nice to devotees in Golok Vrindavan, if we ever get a chance to be there? How can we? That's the reason we came down, right? That's the reason we came to this material world, because of our irsha. And we still have that deep-rooted. The envy is it's said, all other, anger or all other anarthas can be used in the service of Krishna. Of course, we have to get rid of those, but still that can be dovetailed. But one thing that cannot be used in the service of Krishna is envy, jealousy. The difference is jealousy is, I don't want to forget, so jealousy and envy, one difference was, jealousy is that I cannot do this person has this and I don't have it. But envy is another level, that how can that person have it? Like judging, like how can she have it? She came in bhakti after so long, 10 years after me. How can she get this? How can she be so happy in her life, or he be having this and not me? That is envy. Why was I saying this? But yeah, we have to maintain nice relationships with devotees to be able to have a real relationship with Krishna. So, yeah. Any other question or points?
Hare Krishna, thank you, Vrinda Sevika. So this point that, we have Hiranyakashipu's tendencies within us, and I was thinking, okay, did nobody tell Hiranyakashipu he's not? So is it like even Brahma came, gave him blessings? So are we to assume that Brahma didn't guide him to say, hey, there's Vishnu, don't be his enemy? So did he, because he was not a ripe fruit, because he could see that it's not going to help him, and this is the only way he's going to learn? Are we to assume that way? So, and the reason why I'm asking is, like, when we have these tendencies, we are hoping and praying that devotees will correct us, will guide us. So why did nobody tell Hiranyakashipu? He was doing so many austerities. He was, in his way going to Mangalarti every day, and you know, in his own way. He
Yeah,
was doing
yeah.
so many austerities,
Yeah.
and yet he was like completely off track. And then Brahma came and he didn't even tell him.
There was one person who kept telling him. You know who that person
Oh,
was?
his son.
Yeah. Bhakt Prahlad. He was preaching him, right? And what did Hiranyakashipu do? He threw him off his lap. He was first, he called Prahlad. Hey, you know my son, how lovingly your father does. What did you learn in school today? And he was fearless. Prahlad was fearless. He knew his father would not like, because he had tried it before. And he knew that his father would not react favorably. He literally threw Prahlad off his lap because he was saying to his father, why are you against Vishnu? He's our supreme Lord. He's our real father. Imagine telling this to his demoniac father, that my real father is Lord Vishnu. He got really pissed off, but he did get reminders, multiple reminders from Prahlad. Even Lord Ram, when Mother Sita was taken away, he sent so many messengers, Hanuman, Angad, giving him chance, now also if you return my wife, I will forgive you. Even on the battlefield, Lord Ram said once again, why don't you take my shelter? I will forgive you. And he was just laughing. Ravan is like, yeah, just because you can't kill me, you think, but Krishna gives reminders. Yes, he does. We don't listen.
See, Saki, you are so funny. He went to Mongol Arti? Serious? Okay. That's nice. Okay. Thank you so much for a very deep and thoughtful class. I just want to comment to that question that Mother Prabhupada Priya posed. Many years, I've only heard from many devotees only if they want service. And it used to hurt. So for the first 5 or 10 years, I was like, what? I don't have any relationships here? It's only service? And then I got more and more realization as the years went on. Oh my gosh, we're in a war. Pass me the ammunition. Come on, pass me more ammunition. I need your help. Hey, I cut my arm. Please help me. Please. Hey, I need this. Cover me. I'm going to make a run, And I mean, it's a war. Maya, this is a war going on. And devotees think, oh, okay, we're just chilling and having fun. Well, yeah, we are doing that by the grace of Guru and Krishna. At the same time, it's very serious. It's extremely serious. And thank you for your insights.
That was a wonderful point. I think this wonderful point that Mother Kunti made me realize that when somebody is actually in the mood of loving Krishna, in the mood of really loving Krishna, they probably will not come and ask you, how can I serve Krishna? But they would want to serve you because you're a devotee of the Lord. That's one big thing you will see. That when you really see, oh, this is a wonderful devotee of the Lord, I want to serve this devotee. Not thinking, oh, hey, please tell me how can I serve Kala Chanti directly. Because we don't have that within us to serve the Lord. But here, so many devotees are there in our community. We have endless opportunities to serve them. So, yeah. Thank you for that point. Yeah. Should we wrap up, or is there any question, any comment? At the back. Okay.
Thank you for the wonderful class. As you were narrating Lord Narasimhadeva's pastime, I just recalled many years ago when I lived in the ashram. My service used to be in the temple room to take the guests around. So I remember one time one Buddhist monk, he visited the temple. And I took him around. Just like here in this temple, we have the beautiful pictures, paintings. So there also we had. So he was appreciating all the paintings. And then finally, we stood right before the deities in front of the altar. And then he glanced over Lord Narasimhadeva's picture. So, who's that? He seems to be so violent. And he couldn't appreciate, that feature aspect of the Supreme Lord. So God means he has to be merciful. Then I had to explain to him. So, I just recalled. The child cannot understand when surgeon is doing the surgery. You know,
Yeah.
this is so ghastly. The blood is coming out. He's just ripping apart. You know, cutting open everything. So that's what the child thinks, not understanding. You know, what is the background. So you need to go through that pastime and understand how that surgery is also the mercy. You know, to the demon. When he's killing any demons, he's actually showing his mercy. Everything is sweet. So that aspect, killing aspect of the Lord is also sweet.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. Whatever the Lord does, even if He kills, He protects, He runs away from the battlefield, it's all glorified, right? Ranchor. It's glorified because Krishna's activities are so beautiful. Even if He steals butter from everywhere in Braj, it's glorified. And the gopis would complain about it, but they would intentionally make the butter, churn it every day and keep it in their house for Krishna. And when there was no butter found, Krishna would pee in that house. He would be like, there's nothing for me over here. But even that's glorified.
I don't remember who mentioned this couple days ago during Bhagavatam class. Somebody mentioned this, like Christianity, they have the concept of God as a father, but they really miss out the concept or the feature of God to be the son. The father means you have to take the service, you know, accept the service. But son means you have to give the service as parents.
Yeah.
There's sweet aspect there.
There's
There's so many flavors they're missing, you know.
Yeah. Krishna gives us all the flavors. Ras Raj, right? Who can give us all he's the king of all the rasas. So he gives us all that transcendental mellows to experience because he's not giving just one, like, okay, you know, everybody, just my servant, just my sons. No. You can be a friend to Krishna. You can treat him as your son. So yeah, there are so many flavors. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, let's wrap up. It's time. Unless there's anything else. Okay. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnav Bhakt Vrinda ki jai. Shri Radha Kalachan ji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.